So I've been wanting to do this karmic punishment reading for a while now because I feel like it's kind of so important to tap into the energy that once was, if you catch my meaning. This is energy that has buzzed around you, and like right now I have all these bees around me and shit. Like, it's something that has bothered you for a very, very long time. And so this isn't sadistic. This is just, what the fuck do they get for fucking with me for so long? Why is it that I feel no satisfaction on that end? It's like I feel like you never truly can release this until you know what the fuck actually happened. So instantaneously, what I'm picking up on is a false family foundation, or just a false mask so wide and so big that they even convince you that they might have wanted to settle down, which is a scary thought because you almost settled down with a sociopath or a psychopath. And even if you did, there's things that could have happened that could have been worse than what you even had gone through in the first place. Like, what I'm seeing right here is someone who's a homosexual, and if you don't know what a homosexual is a couch surfer. It's somebody who goes around and gets into relationships because they don't want to go out and get a fucking job. Okay, they don't want to work the 9 to 5. They don't want the money. They don't want to actually work for what they have. They want other people to work for them. It's kind of like that natural pimp energy where they fall in line only because you make the money, and then because you make the money, they also stay submissive and put on a false mask in order to catch your, it's like, okay, so I don't want to make this person mad or piss them off. I'm just going to I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to keep it on lock under secrets. I feel like this person didn't really tell you about their sexuality either. There's a lot to do with their actual genuine sexuality that I feel is almost a mystery to you. Like, I see that this person really, really has a lot of issues accepting themselves and heavy insecurities. It's almost as if this person projected all of those onto you. I feel like when you question their sexuality or question what type of person they were, they almost made it awkward, or they just avoided the conversation versus actually telling you straightforward what was going on with them. I see STDs here. Like, I see physical ailments because this person still acted on such impulse and such insecure energy that they just couldn't. I don't feel like they could have trusted you. So if they accuse you of cheating, there it is. I feel like they couldn't have trusted themselves, and they couldn't have trusted you. There's no way that a person like this mentally fucking skewed and mentally ill, is capable of holding down a positive relationship. While it may have lasted for a couple of months, here's karma, baby. While it may have lasted a couple of months, and varying on your situation, right? Because some of y'all were dealing with something a little bit more minor, okay? And what I mean by minor is just controllable. You were able to control your actions, and you were able to step out and exercise your freedoms and get away from that individual. Now, does that mean that person is away from you? Does that mean that person isn't still trying to be up in your energy and around you? Absolutely not. They still are there. And what I keep seeing is, for some reason, the bullfrog, Jeremiah and the bullfrog, I don't know that story actually. That's not something that I actually know of. I heard Jeremiah and the bullfrog, and I also heard Princess and the frog. So, or Prince and the frog, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it's a froggy situation where I feel like this individual is nothing like what they actually explained to you or said to you. Like, they can only talk themselves so much before it looks like, bitch, you weird. Bitch, you're the weird kid that everyone talks about, that goes into the crowd and, does something wild type shit. You the weird kid that everybody's literally speaking on. I see a monarch butterfly right now, so confirmation. For those of you that were very curious about whether spirit was watching over you during this time, or kind of giving you pointers and helping you through such a fucking full-blown out shitty relationship, shitty situation, that's confirmation right there. They always will watch over you. Granted, you can see the signs, and usually the signs will come through numbers. It'll come through like physical manifestations, butterflies, birds, whatever. But what I'm seeing right here is that this person is still trying to gobble you up. It's like gobble your energy up. They feel that it's owed to them. You got me? So this isn't a situation where like you guys separated and they can let go and they're just gonna go off and cheat on everybody else. They feel like you particularly you, owe them something. Now, what do they think that you owe them? You owe them your life. Okay, that's what they feel. You owe them your life, your stability, and your strength, because they apparently hyped you up so much that you started doing better in a certain area. Maybe they did, right? Maybe they did give you some confidence and gave you a push in a certain direction. Told you to never stop doing what you was doing, or never stop pulling and pushing and fighting for yourself. But essentially what they were trying to do is fight you. Okay, by giving you all this almost false recognition, stroking your ego, and putting out the energy that they supported you, they were immediately giving you this dynamite effect of, yeah, I'm gonna do better for myself. You're right. You know, you kept saying you're right. You know, I'm gonna try to fight for my stability and my support. I'm gonna do that. But essentially, it just doesn't. It's a lie. Okay, look, the mask is right there, right? The mask is right there. So, strength card. What wasn't expected in your eyes or your lane was that you would gain the strength in order to see through what this person was doing. I feel like they made you second guess yourself every so often by telling lies, blatant lies. And intuition has something to play into this part where it's like, okay, so am I anxious or am I intuitive? Because you got to know the difference between those things. Anxiety and intuition they're not the same thing. Intuition comes before all emotions. It comes before all feelings. Okay, intuition is something that just randomly crosses your mind and you're curious about it. It may instill some fear and some anxiety after that point, but it's not based on a delusion and it's not based on anxiety. So there's that part. King of Wands. So here comes this person, and I feel like for some reason I heard the bum train or like the bum bus, something like that. The bum bus. Maybe they had a bunch of friends that they was talking on you about. Maybe you guys had the same group of friends and they was talking shit to your group of friends, or they just kept trying to convince people that you were one way when in reality it's like you've always been the same. You've always danced the same way. So whatever that relationship was, it just was built on false pretenses already because this person was false. And you might have been playing a false part in yourself as well, saying that you wanted a relationship or needed a relationship when in reality you needed yourself. That's prime right there. Like, you need to know that you needed yourself. You didn't need anybody to fill a hole in a position of a parent or in a position of anybody of support. You just needed you. And that's something that you couldn't really admit to yourself at the time. But now I'm sure you're in the position of saying, like, now I get it. Now I get that I can rely on myself and my own powers and my own intuition, my own justice. It's just, I can do that. Now, this person was like right in a couple of different categories. I'm not going to say that they weren't correct, and maybe that you did need some trust work, and maybe you did need some work when it came to your anger or your bad side. I heard bad head, bad hair day type shit, when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're just angry. But there's things that triggered that I feel like you've been more kind of in tune with more recently, where you can tap into your anger and sizzle it out, and that's like the controlling shit that this person would complain and yip and yap about. But now it's kind of on the basis of, you know, you're controlling your own life now. You're in control of your life. And so a lot of that anger and a lot of that stress is going to be away. It's just done. You know, it's put away. I heard on lockup. So this person could be on lockup as well. Like, they could be under wraps in prison type shit. King of Swords. Like, this person just won't leave you alone. Holy shit. Okay, let's talk about the karmic piece, because I wanted to just go over a couple of things that was happening. I feel like I'll do onto me on what I did to you, or something of that nature. It's like, treat everyone with the same kind of respect that you're wanting and what you're garnering, okay? Or else, that's kind of what I'm picking up on. So if you don't treat me with the same respect that you want to be treated with, if you don't tell me the truth, if you're not an honest person, then you're going to get exactly what you got back 10 times, right? That's what I keep feeling. So karma is just this way. Ace of Swords, there she is, okay? And I'm gonna say karma is a she, because karma is that justice that you're looking for. For me, is a powerful female. Almost, I want to say, like, warmongering female, someone who motherly, nurturing, you know, when her mother gets protective over her babies. That's the kind of shit that comes from this karmic energy. And immediately, of course, the Justice card comes to mind, which is Libra. And Libra is that way. When they do have children and they properly take care of their children, they just are heavily protected. Usually the most protective of the zodiac, they are trying to lock down their children into like their own world. It's like they can't allow their kids the space to breathe. And it's kind of a selfish reason and kind of for a good reason. It's like, I know what the world is like, and you have to understand, I've had experiences. That's what I'm feeling from your end of the bargain. It's like, you know, I've had experiences. You have to know that I want to protect you. And so this Justice could be your own mother. It could be your own mother. It could be your grandmother. It could be people who have already pre-passed away. And now it's just about them feeding out, like I said, what was done to you, but 10 times as bad or 100 times as bad. It's like this, I feel like this is something that you are trying to leave behind. But as the karma is being enacted, you're going to have to pay attention to what's happening around you, because it's going to feel really strange and it's going to feel real queasy and nostalgic. You're going to start remembering things. You're going to start playing shit out in your head and remembering things about this particular situation that you didn't really want to bring up again. Because you are in the Emperor or Empress energy, or coming towards that energy, you have to look back and reflect on what you've been through so far. And now that karma is kind of eating them up, it's like, okay, so maybe you're happy about this situation. Maybe you're like dancing on their grave and shit. They're like, yeah, fuck you, bitch, fuck you. You know, this is what you get for fucking with a real one type shit. You play with a real one, you got what's real. Like, you got what's coming to you. But this is, I feel like, a future card. Okay, this is slightly into the future now, where I feel like everything is booming, everything is bouncing. I feel like you're actually able to, you're able to work on things that you previously couldn't even put your mind to, because I feel like your attention was just other places. Their karma, I feel like strongly, is your success, by the way. And what I mean by success is definitely financial stability, 1,000%. There was a lot of places where I feel like you put holes in your finances, where you were maybe very bad at spending, you were bad at this, bad at that. Maybe you were bad at working in a certain quarter. And now it's kind of like everything shifted over and changed, where you can actually hold on to your stability for once. And that feels so good to do by yourself. Trust me when I say, like, when you get the balls to say, I have my own everything and everything is mine, it's so satisfying. Okay, it's the most satisfying thing that you could ever go through. Now, this person is going through I would say, a spiritual awakening. Okay, and what I mean by that, the spiritual awakenings aren't always positive. I want you to know that sometimes spirit is awakening you or opening your eyes to your own behavior. Okay, and if your behavior is shitty, it's not going to go unwarranted or without punishment. You got to know that if you're playing a certain part in your life, you're going to experience it in your dreams. You're going to get real sweaty. You're going to get real scared and anxious. You're going to be in pain. You're going to feel sick. All of these feelings, you know, that people say are part of a spiritual awakening, it's spirit awakening you to your own shitty fucking behavior. A true, real spiritual awakening where you are leveling up is not painful. It's freeing, and it's a weight lifted off your fucking chest. So if you've been feeling that way lately, you are also going through a spiritual awakening. It's strange. It's unusual. Time feels like it's imbalanced. And I would say, like, you might be restless, but you don't feel bad. You feel light. In fact, you might not feel anything at all. It's just like floaty. Like, you might be a little bit desensitized or depersonalized, where you're kind of floating outside your body somewhere. You're not even here right now. That's a spiritual awakening, at least in my quarters. So this person's going through a very, very painful awakening. They had laid these cards out for themselves, basically saying, and maybe they do actually do tarot and do spiritual shit, but they laid a certain path out for themselves that anyone could have seen coming. Just anyone. It's not about like going to a tarot reader or listening to even me talk. you could have seen this shit coming. It's just, that's what it is, right? That's what it is. You get yourself in trouble because you keep pushing all of these narratives into people's heads, and now people are pushing narratives into your head, right? Now people are projecting onto you, and now people are destroying your life. It's like, how the fuck does it feel to be destroyed? How does it feel to be treated like you treated me, basically? And that's where we're kind of rolling the dice, you see, because we're not always going to see what happens on the inside of these people's lives, especially if they're blocked or removed or whatever, but you'll feel it happening to them. So you might have these dreams where they're going through terrible situations. It's like, okay, so why did they die in my dream? Or why are they crying in my dream? Why are they screaming in my dream? These are the things that are actually happening to them in the physical realm that you're seeing, and your spirits are trying to tell you, this is what you need. You need to release this because this is what's happening to this person. They've gotten what was coming to them. They've already gotten it. You no longer need to hyper focus and put yourself in between this person and what's happening with karma. You know, while I would say to enact justice yourself is actually very, very relieving. To allow spirit to do it is just so much more. It's stress off your back. It's every time we put extra stress into everything, as far as like when someone hurts us or inflicts pain onto us, it's not. It's a lot more painful than it actually was, you know. Because when I think about, and I want you to think about this real quick. When I think about my past, right, and the painful things I've gone through and been through, I feel relieved that I went through it, I survived it, I pushed through. It was nothing where I can say, like, I'm disappointed at how my life turned out in that I would want to do it all over again. Like, I definitely wouldn't want to do some of those parts all over again, but I've been through it, I gone through it, and I survived it, right? When I think about it, I don't think pain anymore. I think I'm relieved. I'm fucking relieved. If you're still going back and thinking about all these feelings and you're still hurt, then there needs to be release that happens. Okay, you should feel relieved that it's done and over with. So I'm going to give you one last message and see where it goes. One last message. You're not a victim. That's one message. You're not a victim. Okay, this is where we say some cornball shit, like some corny ass bullshit. Like, you're not a victim. You're a survivor. Okay, you've been through it. You've gone through it. Disorder, mentally or physically. So this is something that a person could have projected onto you. I don't think that you're mentally ill or as mentally ill as this person made you out to be. I don't think you're as crazy as this person made you out to be. You're still recovering. And so this is just the way it is. You're going to have pent up anger, pent up stress. You're a lot less stressed now, though. And I feel like this is this person's mental anguish, insecurities, delusions. I feel like they might even have like some sort of a delusional disorder where they kind of make shit up in their head and they project it onto you, like I said, and then they make you think that you're doing something wrong when you're really not. Yeah, they just run their mouth and then they run away from all of their problems, and they never confront. Okay, they're not confrontational, and that's also a disorder, to be non-confrontational or to be always terrified and scared of confronting what's really in the mirror for them. That's also a disorder. I don't know what disorder it is, but I know it's a disorder. Okay. This is for you. This is being able to study yourself more spiritually. I feel like you've learned a very valuable lesson through the situation where you couldn't have learned it any other way because you're very stubborn and you're very hard-headed. It's just, it is what it is. And I can't stress enough that I see financial stability and I see all these things that you should be proud of. And those are the things that you should be thinking about right now. You took the opportunity to take time out for yourself, which many people do not do, and this will pay off in the end of your journey. You have to understand, like, love and all these things are something that comes after the stability. That's a reward. Love is a reward. Okay, it's a reward of doing well or of doing the best that you can do in the situation that you're put in. That is a reward. It is not something that you just, oh, I'm going to go out and, open my motherfucking legs or have a bitch suck my dick and then that's the way it is. No, it's not like that. Okay, what people make love out to be right now is so disgusting, and it won't get any less disgusting unless you push those types of people away and keep focusing on yourself instead of stressing over them in their situation. That's not something you have to worry about any longer. Now it's about you, and if you have kids, about your kids. If you want a future and to have children and to have a husband or a wife, whatever you want to do or whatever you prefer, you're going to have to put the fucking work in. It's a fucking reward for everything you have gone through to be truly and actually loved. Okay, that's all I got to say. Goodbye.